Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast with your hosts, Sonja Babich, CEO of Iron Diamond Media, a leading wedding resource featuring 7 localized wedding brands across the country, and Dan Riggs, photography and videography expert and founder of Summit Hill Studios. Come along as they travel from state to state to connect with the most creative and well-respected professionals in the wedding industry. Every episode will arm you with the hottest new trends, wedding day tips and details, and they'll show you all the joys of planning your perfect wedding day.
Welcome to Wedding Day Podcast. Today we're in Los Angeles, California with Jessi Pallan. She is the creative director at Iron Diamond Media.
I'm excited.
We're excited to have you.
Thanks.
So Jessi has been on the team for almost 2 years, but I definitely want Jessi to tell the story of how she got here.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
It is a fun one.
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember how many years ago that was, but I met Sonja at the wedding fair in Minneapolis. I was the art director for them, and I kind of got to take care of her for the day. She was our sponsor, and I had the best time hanging out with her.
We bonded. We bonded.
Very quickly. And I remember you telling me there too, like, someday you're going to work for me. I was like, yeah, we'll see. I don't know what my path is going to be.
Which is a perfect Jessi answer.
Just an empty answer. So yeah, and then COVID happened, weddings kind of slowed down. I ended up getting a job at Shutterfly, and I was a graphic designer there for a while. I worked on their brand and campaign team, which was awesome because I kind of geek out about brands and colors and making sure everything's really consistent. So I was there for almost 2 years, and then I got a phone call from Sonja, and she's like, I think your 2-year contract, Not Good Beats coming up. It's like, you're right.
Sonja's pretty methodical. She had it marked on the calendar. She's like, yep, there it is. Ding, 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 ding.
The planner in me.
Yeah, so that's how it all happened.
Yeah, so Jessi came on board just to focus on California Wedding Day, Washington Wedding Day, Oregon Wedding Day, and she helped launch Arizona Bride. Mm-hmm. And then she was just so good at what she does and loved to streamline things that she is now our creative director. So she overlooks all 7 brands design-wise and just making sure we're fluid with fonts and all those little details matter, just like a wedding day, Dan.
Yeah, I thought that just happened. I thought that, it's just, but there's a person behind it.
Yeah, I wish it would just happen too.
Wow. Yeah.
That would be nice.
I'm oblivious.
and you have to know, like, her role too, it takes time. You need patience.
Yeah,
Very.
for sure.
So I would love to dive deep into your role more.
Sure.
What is the process of, the design or creating a fashion shoot and style shoot? And of course, that's some of our motto of how we work with our clients and et cetera, but overall design and theme and concept.
Yeah. This is definitely the most fun part of my job.
I know it's your favorite part of your job.
The fashion shoots are a blast. I work really closely with our editor, Laura. For California specifically, I'll use that as an example. So she'll come up with a theme and a concept, something she really wants to focus on, something she might think that is hot or up and coming. So she'll come up with an idea, the concept, and then I will kind of run with it from there. I'll come up with some mood boards, which is so fun.
We do mood boards too.
Yes, they're probably my favorite thing ever to make. It's just fun. You get to pull textures and colors, and do you want it more modern? Do you want it more rustic or edgy? So that's kind of where I will send Laura a couple mood boards to make sure that her vision is staying, going down the right path. And then,
which I also love that you do that, because then whoever is involved actually knows the focus and the purpose of the shoot too, and the what's going on in Jessi's and Laura's brain.
Well, and then it can be a true collaborative effort too, because if everyone's on the same page, then all input is helpful. Sure.
And it's a good way too, because that kind of helps us decide who we want our photographer to be. Are they fitting that vision? Are they more of a dark and moody kind of photographer, or light and airy? It also helps us decide on the model, so that's always fun, going through model portfolios and making sure that person is like really our bride for this shoot.
I'm so happy you brought up models, because that's one of our favorite parts.
It's So fun.
So actually, Lara and Jessi will look through agencies. So there's actually model agencies out there, and pick out what's
like the different ethnicities and all.
What's our flavor for this magazine?
Yeah.
And what we published recently too, because we don't want to just over publish, certain models the same.
Right.
So it's really fun, and sometimes they give me a choice, which I love when I'm a part of it, but they're so good at it. They're so good. And some of the agencies you can book 2 weeks to a shoot. What's the typical for that?
LA specifically, there's so many models out here. It's very, very much the place to be a model. So we can typically book a model 2 weeks before the shoot.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you book too far in advance, they could get another gig that they might want to pick up. So
do you feel like when you have too many models to choose from that like when I go to a restaurant, I prefer they have only 5 menu items because then I can just choose one of these 5 menu items. It doesn't take me forever. Is it more difficult for you to choose from a wider pool of models?
I prefer that.
Do you?
It's not only about how they look either, it's about how they move. So sometimes somebody could visually look how exactly what we're wanting for this issue, but creeping on their Instagrams and seeing how they move is a really big part of it.
We creep too, just like couples creep their wedding professionals, we creep our models or even the talent that are involved in our shoots because we want to see how they're going to perform that day.
Sure.
One of our also favorite things with models, if they're a dancer, that's one thing because then we know they know how to like flow.
Yeah.
We don't want stiff models like.
Which happens,
it does happen.
And that's where art direction comes in, and photographers help a lot with that too, with getting them to move and getting them in the groove of things because it feels more natural that way.
And of course, like it also there's so many variables as well, but height is also a big factor if we're doing longer gowns to actually show the full detail of a gown.
I've never seen a female model that was my size. They're always a hair taller.
We'll work on that maybe next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. Even guys are fun to select too for models.
I bet.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. The more options, the better. I love having options.
Yeah, and like I said, every agency is different. Like Chicago agency, they like 6 weeks usually in advance because theirs go fast because they have a limited amount to offer. Where again, California has a smorgasbord.
In abundance. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Many agencies that we can reach out to.
So then on the day of when the models are there and just the fashion shoots are happening, how do you execute those? Like how do you bring that mood board to life?
I love showing them the mood board because that way they kind of know our vision, whether it is going to be more edgy or more just like very flowy and graceful. That kind of helps them know how to move throughout the day.
Love that.
And it brings their vision full circle. Yeah.
Yay.
I've been a part of those. Those are fun. I like to watch the model. One specifically that stands out, and you'll probably know, it was the ballerina issue a couple of years ago. Oh, that was so good. And she must have had 10 different dresses that she tried on and different hairstyles and different floral. It's just so fun to see.
You could tell her attitude came out through that fashion shoot too because she was a ballerina.
Yeah.
And so she's going up on her toes with her point shoes.
It was very natural for her.
Very natural, not forced.
Yeah.
Which is also nice for models not to feel forced with that. But a lot of models, especially in Nebraska, they love being the model for Nebraska Wedding Day because that's one of the more fashion magazines in Nebraska. So they're like, woo, it's my turn again. But yeah, it's like great.
A fun little thing that we've started doing is asking the model what kind of music they like.
Oh.
So we'll play some of their favorite music at the shoot, and I feel like that kind of just like gets them in the groove and
Get them in their vibe, yeah.
getting them really comfortable being in front of all these eyes staring at them all day.
So I'm gonna toot Jessi's horn a little bit. She is so great with the hair and makeup. Like when Jessi wasn't there for one shoot, I was trying to do my inner Jessi. And still we had some challenges. It still wasn't perfect. But like she is the queen. You're just so good at like selecting like the look of a model. And you really bring that beauty out in the model. So when you show up, like when you look at them, is that where you like, here we go, what do you got to work with?
Yeah, I mean, I really lean heavily on the hair and makeup people that we have on set that day. But we do start with mood boards. So I'll send the model to the hair and makeup artist and we'll start coming up with mood boards. That way we kind of know right away what would look good on this face. But yeah, they could show up and we'll be like, that's not what we had planned, but we just go with the flow.
So after it's all completed and you get the files, how do you start that process of weeding through those images and all that fun stuff, and knowing that you only have 6 or maybe 10 pages to work with, or maybe 2 pages to work with?
That is probably the toughest part of my job. Seeing all these good photos of the same look, how do you pick that perfect photo? Sometimes the photographers will even narrow it down, which is super helpful, because I'm indecisive when it comes to seeing all this gorgeous content, but they have a good eye on lighting, how the light's hitting the face, whether they're smiling with their eyes or just their mouth is a big one.
But yeah, open lip right now.
Yeah. But selecting the photos, we also try to get a variety of eye contact, looking away, full body, more profile shots. So making sure it's all mixed up is good.
So why Laura, Jessi, and myself are a great team is just because, of course, Jessi has the creative background and Laura's the editorial background, and then I'm the wedding professional background. So when we're proofing the magazine and looking at a style shoot submission, I actually had Jessi flip out a photo that's in the upcoming California Wedding Day issue, because it really communicated all the vendors that were in that one photo to take care of them. Because you have to show their work, because sometimes you want to please everybody with print, and then you're like, where's the picture of the venue? I can't tell it's here. So you have to, we really try to pay attention to those emotions, and of course our clients purpose to make them happy when they open up the magazine.
I think you guys do a great job of that. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks,
Definitely.
Thanks.
So can you tell us the difference between a fashion shoot and a styled shoot?
Yes, great question. Huge difference. Fashion shoots, we typically just focus on the model and what she's wearing, so the bride or groom that day. We usually get in about 10 to 12 looks, so very, very much focused on just the fashion.
And when we say 10 to 12 looks, that is actually a full day. That's
very long
people
day.
think that's a small number. No, it's an hour sometimes per look.
Well, you're talking about looks, so you're talking about different dress, different hair, different floral, different jewelry.
Yeah, we'll sometimes keep the hair and makeup same for a couple looks and then change it up after about 3 or 4. It's a very fast-paced, moving day. We also have to, schedule 2 hours for hair and makeup and a lunch break so nobody's passing out. But yeah, that is kind of the gist of a fashion shoot. We look at hiring fashion photographers because they have such great knowledge on lighting and getting these models to move in the right way.
So what makes a fashion photographer a fashion photographer?
That's basically all they do. They're not shooting, weddings or that's a completely different.
They're strictly
occupation.
editorial.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what's the difference with style shoots?
Styled shoots are kind of like a mini fake wedding.
I love that.
Yeah.
Please tell.
We will work very closely with our publisher, and she will give us recommendations of who we should use depending on the mood boards that Laura and I create.
And we collaborate together for the right team.
So the 3 of us will really create this perfect wedding professional team to put on a fake wedding, and we photograph it. So we usually have a ceremony set up, a reception set up. Sometimes we have a model even with a couple looks. We usually get 1 or 2 looks in there. But yeah.
So for the magazine, what's the point of a styled shoot? Is it just to give examples to couples, like what your wedding day could look like?
Yes.
Or is it to show some love to the vendors or the venues?
All the above. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to show what vendors can do or what they want to start doing more of.
And it's inspiration.
Yeah, it's very much inspirational. It's a great opportunity for vendors to get creative and play. Those are some of my favorite days because it's such good vibes and everyone's just vibing off of each other.
And it's a great way to switch up the day with wedding professionals, right? They're always doing weddings, so this is a way to change up their week. Being like, I'm doing a style shoot, and I'm just being an artist. Actually, they're being artists on wedding days, yes, but they're truly just artists, no emotions of a wedding day.
Right. I'm a videographer, so I've been part of quite a few of the styled shoots.
Yeah.
And it is it's fun, camaraderie. A little bit of playfulness. A lot of bit of playfulness if it's me.
And sometimes it's not always just like a setup of wedding. We actually have a cake shoot in this upcoming issue.
Yeah, we'll mix it up and sometimes do just all cakes, or we'll do all invites, or we'll mix up beauty and bouquets. We just did something like that. So that's where, Laura and I get to play around and come up with new ideas and give those people bigger platforms to showcase what they want to do.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Love that. So Jessi is our leader of creative directing over the entire brands. And she keeps an eye out on like what's hot, what's coming.
Yeah.
And even honestly, actually, our best of design is from Jessi here. So she's paying attention to what's the next hot thing. Of course, she collaborates a lot with Laura to be like, right, I'm not crazy about this, right?
Sometimes I am.
Yeah, and that's why we're known for of like being that leader, right? And pushing it and bringing the local wedding professionals that are our clients or non-clients to produce that. So where do you like scope that out?
Ooh, Instagram is a phenomenal place to be when it comes to that. People are getting so creative and making all these big statement pieces now. So it's fun to take that and maybe like put a little spin off on it. But yeah, Laura and I make a really good team when it comes to stuff like that. We're always bouncing ideas off of each other and trying to figure out what the next big thing is. But yeah, sometimes we come up with some wild ideas and we'll reel it back in and really finesse it. But it's also fun to collaborate with wedding planners on our styled shoots because they always bring great ideas as well. And they always want to use that to showcase something that maybe they've been wanting to do or haven't done yet. So we'll usually take that and run with it or put a little twist on it.
Jessi and I were actually talking about the from getting submissions or from the fast shoot style shoots from the digital screen to print and how different things are different, which we talked about in an earlier podcast from film and digital. What are your challenges from taking the files to print? What are things that people should just be aware of that we have to deal with the printer of on our pretty gorgeous white thick paper?
Where do I start? I have noticed that lots of oranges pull very orange when it's printed, and so that's something again that I will just keep an eye on. Adding just a touch of desaturation will make those images pop so much better.
And be true.
Yes, true to color.
We try to get it to be as true as we can.
And I do get proofs in the mail, which is phenomenal. So sometimes I'll even see it on my screen and hold up the proof, making sure the color is translating well.
It's a big thing because we want our clients to be happy with what they produce is being communicated effectively on paper.
Yeah, some images might look great, very dark and moody digitally, but then you put it on print and it gets completely washed out and very dark. And so those are the things that I try to watch out for and make sure that that photographer is still happy, even though it might be shifted slightly, but...
And we love photographers because they're a reason why our magazine is so beautiful, right? So we want to make sure that they're happy with the end product. So we like to take care of course, photographers and all wedding professionals, but it's key that because they're the communicator on the pages on behalf of the wedding professionals. So Jessi, we're just about to end today, and we're just wondering, what would you tell engaged couples, what you are looking for, what you would love to publish in our publications that would make you smile?
I love seeing couples just have fun with it, not take it so seriously. It's going to be the best day of your life, so make sure to add those special touches and bring in your fun colors, your favorite colors, or add in some other personal touches that mean a lot to you guys.
Like a dog?
A dog. We just had gerbils in our
Chickens.
magazine.
Those were the craziest invitations we've ever seen,
Yes.
but they were so the couple.
But we love seeing stuff like that, getting to see the couples really shine through on their wedding day, not just them and their happy selves, but in their decor, and it's,
And again, we love timeless and classic and traditional weddings, but when you give us a curveball that makes us excited, like we want to see it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jessi, for joining Dan and I for Wedding Day Podcast. I'm just so happy that people get to know you on the team because you are such an asset, so I so appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I usually just sit behind my computer desk in a dark room. So
It was so
nice
fun.
to do this.
But
Yeah.
you are the reason why our publications are so pretty, so thank you, Jessi.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching Wedding Day Podcast today here from Los Angeles, California. You can check us out if you're listening on Spotify or any of the podcast platforms right now. You can watch us on YouTube. You can see our smiling faces, and vice versa. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can listen on any of the podcast platforms. We'd love it if you could follow us as well. We're on Instagram and TikTok and all the places at Wedding Day Podcast.
See you, bye.